Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, Jake's Take podcast, and also the website, jakestake.com. Jake's Take is a New York City-based pop culture entertainment website that basically deals with movies, music, television, comic books, theater, and lifestyle. So I am so lucky to have one of my favorite people on Instagram, the fabulous Anthony Mastracci. Now, Anthony and I have been corresponding for almost a year and a half, and he and I have had, and I'm so happy of his growth, and he's going to talk all about his growth, his love of men's fashion, and I'm so grateful that he took time out of his schedule to talk to me. So, Anthony, how are you today?
How's it going? I'm fantastic, and I'm really excited to be here talking to you today, Jake. Thanks so much again. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. So I am going to tell you guys, he can be reached on Next Gentleman. He has one of the best brands, Next Gentleman. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Jake's Take podcast or Jake's Take blog, Anthony and I had a previous conversation back in August of 2019 where we corresponded. And it has been almost a year since we last corresponded, Anthony. So how have you grown as an entrepreneur since you last visited Jake's Take?
You know, that's such an interesting question, especially right now in the times of COVID-19. But you know, we've been consistent in wonderful content production. We've been able to work with some amazing new brands like Wolverine Boots, Bon and Viv Spike Seltzer, and just getting to know more of the up and comers in the menswear world. That's one of the things I like to do the most. And I've been lucky enough to be able to work with some of those people. So as far as growth is concerned, you know, I measure it tenfold with being able to meet new brands, new entrepreneurs. But like everybody else, it's tough right now, having to stay at home, not being able to get out there, meet people, shake people's hands, have coffee meetings. So we're making the most of it now. And I've got a couple things in the works that are pretty exciting to look forward to. So we're going to keep an eye out for those.
I'm so excited for you, and I'm like you, my friend. I miss the days of being stuck in my New York City apartment and heading out and be networking and doing all my work at my coffee shop. So hopefully, fingers crossed that this will whole be over in like a couple of months, and like hopefully by the end of May or early June.
Hey, I hope so. You know, it's going to take all of us working together to make this happen. But I'm just thankful we have really good people on the front lines right now who are literally soldiers to this epidemic. They're fighting against it really hard, and so I just want to say thank you so much to them. They're kicking ass, and if it wasn't for them, I think we'd be in way worse shape. So yeah, thank you to all you guys and ladies on the front lines.
I totally agree. I totally agree with the first responders shout out. So now let's get back to our conversation. So what I noticed is, first of all, I got to congratulate you because you have started your own media company, Beardly Media, and congratulations and kudos to you on that. And I'm so excited and proud of you for that, because the reason why I started looking, and then I put two and two together, and I like realized, okay, he'd stopped posting on the Next Gentleman website. So what were the factors that lead you to transition to this next chapter of your career?
You know, it's interesting in meeting people, like, you know, I just mentioned. The one question I got all the time was, hey, do you work with brands? Do you set up marketing campaigns? Do you do stuff like that? And the answer is, at the time, I really didn't. But it was an entrepreneurial step that I chose to take to not just work on the Next Gentleman, which is my baby, don't get me wrong. But Beardly Media, it's basically, you know, me and a couple other people and working to get content generation, to get social media generation, to get brands to the next level of digital and arguably millennial publicity that they want to get to. So under that, I've been able to work with a couple of amazing people and brands. And so we're in the midst of that right now, and we're doing really well. We're doing really well.
And I'm so happy to hear that. So, as we all know, there's the media landscape is way competitive, super competitive. There are like literally hundreds of thousands of companies. So, how does Beardly Media stand out against competitors?
Well, you know, what's in the name, Jacob? I'm just kidding. I don't work on just beard campaigns, products, but you know, Beardly Media, it's something that comes from my personal experience with digital content. And I didn't know it at the time, but the beard was what kind of put me on the map and got me a speck of the spotlight. And that's what I wanted to translate into being able to do for other people as well. I've learned a lot since I started The Next Gentleman, and it's that information that I wanted to pass down or transfer to other people with a similar dream to sell wonderful products. And so what I tell my clients is that, hey, listen, I'm not here trying to just take your money. I want to stay small. I don't want 1 million clients. I want a few clients that I can have very personal relationships with, who feel comfortable calling me early in the morning or late at night, who I can have a stress-free conversation with and give them honest answers. Basically, in a nutshell, it's no bullshit. I'm not about bullshit. I never want to be about bullshit. And I think some of the other competitors or some of the other agencies I've seen out there like to blow a little bit of smoke. I'm not trying to badmouth anybody, don't get me wrong, but it's one thing that I have noticed, and that's just not something I'm about.
And and I like your philosophy on that as well, because that's where I figure when it comes to my media outlet, is because I don't want to address the gossip. I don't want to have a black mark in the entertainment industry because I have a scarlet letter, like a Hester Flynn.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, so I agree with you on that, and I'm proud of that. So okay, so let's talk about. We got to talk about the elephant in the room, aka the invisible coronavirus. This guy has, I think, affected everything in this country, everything around the world as well. So, how has coronavirus affected Beardly Media?
Sure. So it has and it hasn't. On the business development side, like I mentioned before, you can't really get out there and shake hands, pass out business cards, meet people. Sure, there are other ways of doing it online, but at the same time, I'm still doing very well with my clients. We still have that kind of relationship. And because we work on digital content and I'm able to produce the assets that I need, in that regard, it hasn't really affected it. So I want to say that I'm lucky there, but on the growth side of things, that's definitely something that's paused. And it's something I've been seeing throughout the landscape as well. Things are kind of just on hold right now. And, I'm not somebody out there who's advocating for open the country, but I'm fortunate enough to be one of the people who doesn't desperately need that. So things are definitely on pause as far as I'm concerned. And I think it's just about getting through the coronavirus and being able to open up the country again once it's safe to do so.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear about that. And now we both, and guys, for those of you who just jumped right in to our conversation, Anthony and I know each other for Instagram. I think we have basically the same people that we follow. Both of us follow another brilliant person, Everett Williams. By the way, he's doing awesome as well. So I definitely see. So during our last conversation, you mentioned it was one of your primary platforms that you use. And now, how has your Instagram content changed since our last conversation?
It's the same way that my Instagram content has changed over the last 5 years. I never stop learning. And I think that's true for so many different creators, whether it's learning a new trick in the editing process, getting a new lens and learning how to use that new lens, or working with kind of artistic effects. I'll be honest, the competition on Instagram, it's increased. There's a lot of people on Instagram, and now with TikTok, you're having to compete a little bit more so. So you're having to get a little bit creative. In that regard, I love it. I love being forced to find answers, find solutions, and find a new way to express, the same feeling, but in a different way than through just words or content. So it's just about learning how to grasp that new concept and show the people what that is and make something really cool and really interesting. And over the last 5 years, like I said, it's just gotten better and better and better because I've never closed my mind off to learning. And I think that's something that everybody should do.
I definitely agree with you on that. And I've definitely even tried to step up my Instagram game as well with the Instagram stories. I also started working on Song of the Day, which is definitely trying to put some hopeful and inspirational tracks and like something that will make them think. Like recently I had chosen Don't Lose, Africa, Jolene version of cover of Jolene. Yep. And then also the most obscure Andrew Lloyd Webber track from Bonnie Tyler, Tire Tracks and Broken Hearts. But I also support my friends as well, including Brandon and James with their cover Hallelujah, and Peter Hollins, who's been killing it with his content, focusing on talking about preventing coronavirus with his songs, the quarantine song and everything. So I definitely made sure to do that. So what goes through your mind when it comes to creating content for not just Instagram, but TikTok and all these different platforms? And then also not just for yourself, but also for the brands that you work with.
Sure. I think the number one thing is just being timely and being relevant, seeing what's going on in the world. Listen, you have to make a connection with people on social media. And, fortunately, we're kind of all in the same boat right now. We're stuck at home. We're doing the same things and learning a lot about ourselves too. And one of my clients, I'll let you know, it's a cookware brand. So what we're seeing is a lot more people cooking at home. And it's about, hey, how do we take something like this and make it relevant to the people at home? Okay, so it's about figuring out your pinpoints on that and then developing the content and the messaging and the type of content and specific platform, around that. On the Next Gentleman side of things, that's another conversation. Influencers, it's really, you have to have kind of an ethical check here because I see myself as an educator. I do sponsored posts as well, but I see myself as an educator. I want to teach people about things. And I've had to say no to projects that have been offered to me just because they have nothing to do with the situation right now. And it's sad, but there's a time and a place for everything. And like I said, it's really a time for an ethical check. If you're promoting content that's not relevant, well, I think that kind of says something about your morality and the reason you're doing this in the first place. So if it's anything to do with home, anything to alleviate the situation, anything to make somebody laugh, that's what I want to talk about.
And those are all great topics. And I agree I'm definitely in the same boat because I've received messages about different opportunities. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the Jake's Take brand. That is not the Jake's Take brand at all. Mm-hmm. And it's sad to pass them on it. But at the same time, I'm like, if it doesn't reflect the Jake's Takes brand, it's not going anywhere. It's not going. And I do not want we don't want our audience to be fall into different pits because I've seen a lot of Instagrammers and also influencers say, give me this, like promoting out these expensive products. And I'm like, we have to save money for groceries, for rent, for everything else, instead of maybe $400 pair of jeans or like fancy clothes and everything. But like, you're proud of them, but at the same time, some of us can't afford some of the products.
Yeah. If anything, there's a ton of products on sale right now. And that, I think, is where a lot of the focus should be shifting. Where was it? Nordstrom, even today. And for the last few days, and I think until a few days from now, I saw a classic Levi's trucker jacket on sale down from $100 for $30. That's incredible. And that's something you can wear any time of the day, anywhere. Even in the summer. Like I'm one of those crazy Angelinos that still wears jackets in the summer if they're fashionable enough, and I'm not going to be soaking wet after because I'm sweating. But there's a ton of sales online right now, and all right, retail therapy is a thing as long as you can do it responsibly, because like you said, food is a priority. And in moderation. Food is a priority. You're absolutely right. But if there's a steal out there, hell, I would want to know about that.
Oh, talk about steals. I recently am taking my friend Peter Hollins' course about how to improve yourself online as a content creator. And it was originally $109 on Udemy. And then I got it for it was on sale for $10.99, which is probably one of the best steals and also extremely valuable information for 90% off.
I had a friend that said, if you don't take this opportunity to learn something new, you're losing automatically. That's an excellent point.
I totally agree. And also, not to mention, you're also playing new tricks. So I'm trying to learn about the coding world as well. So with web development, with HTML and front end. So I basically want to give a shout out to General Assembly because I've been working with them on the introduction course and also been taking passive course as well. So yeah, it's I think if we're both in our careers, we need to make sure that we're not just creatively up to it, but also own what we have and own, like, evolve our skills.
Absolutely. Listen, the greatest commodity that we have right now and always will be time. And it's what we do with that time that helps us grow, arguably. So, hey, kudos to you for learning something new. I think that's fantastic.
And thank you and also kudos for you for taking the step to go to the, not just from Next Gentleman to Beardly Media, because I give you a million kudos.
It's hard.
For doing that.
Thank you. It's hard owning a business. It's gratifying and it sucks at the same time. No matter what kind of capacity you're running it in as well, it's all the responsibility you never had before. And if anyone's thinking about doing it, I say go for it. Listen, if you make mistakes, that's good. You're going to be stronger in the end. Lord knows I've made my share of mistakes, but I'm learning. And I think that's what it's all about.
And we all have to learn as well, because the thing is, I never imagined the Jake's Take doing a podcast, and literally like years ago when I started it, and then now this is episode 26.
26?
Yeah, 24 audio episodes plus 2 video episodes so far. So my goal is like balance audio and video as well. So this is a very interesting skill.
Jake, I think I speak for everybody else when I say you're crushing it, dude. You're crushing it. Good for you, man. Keep it going. All right.
Thank you so much, Anthony. And keep it going for you as well, because I give you so much kudos for doing all that. And I know that Beardly Media is going to be successful. So so now we're going back to Beardly Media. We got to talk about your clients. Who are your dream clients? And why would they be the perfect fit?
Oh, man, that's a great question. I like to think of myself as kind of a flex player. I've touched a lot of corners of the communications industry, and I've touched a lot of corners within the men's world. But I think over time, I would just want to meet more brands who I can work with to develop their message to guys. It's kind of what I specialize in. It's the background that I have. And if I can share my expertise with somebody and help do something good for their growing company, perhaps, I would consider that a huge win and a personal success. So, I think anything within the menswear world or even the food world, I love food on a local or national scale. I think that'd be super fun to work on.
Same with me. I love food as well. I've actually recently found, I'm just doing, in addition to meal prepping, which I really like, we found the love of cooking breakfast again. Yes. And actually getting having like a Zucker bagel, like putting the Zucker bagel from the freezer, taking it out after it's defrosting for 30 minutes, and then putting it in the oven while I'm creating I'm creating my own version of omelet with all some of my stuff from meal prep. Mm-hmm. And it's basically great, and it's great with food as well. So I'm like so enjoying this period. And I gotta say, for both of us, it's very difficult to meet another men blogger or who are in our shoes, because it's like there are so much you can do that it's not just a Joey Graceffa or a Tyler Oakley or a Scott Herman that they've done this for years, but it's like there's other people besides them.
100%. There's a lot of new people. There's a lot of little guys out there, no pun intended. But hey, we all got to support each other. And I think that's what it comes down to. I think there was a conference called Manfluential in Atlanta last couple of years. And I thought it was great just because it brings people together. It brings people together and it talks about men's topics, because sometimes we can feel a little lonely, and it could be tough meeting colleagues, especially right now during quarantine. But what you and I are doing right here, I think this is something that everybody should do, and just not be afraid to open up a dialogue and ask a question and say, hey, how's it going? What's working for you? Let's collaborate. It's all about collaboration.
I totally agree with that. And I can name some of my favorite men. Besides you, I'm going to tell you guys some of the best men people to look at when it comes to all stuff. I would recommend my friend Fit to Fats Fits, Drew Manning, and Scott Herman, and my friend Anabolic Aliens, Mike Rosa on the fitness side of things. Those are great. And then I think both of us would agree that Everett Williams is someone that you would probably need to look at for lifestyle.
Everett's a friend of mine, actually. And if we're talking about content, I can't name anybody who's doing it better than Everett. He started TikTok not too long ago, and the short form video content he's making is replicated by others and admirers, lookalikes. They want to do his style of editing, and I cannot say enough good things about the way he's taking video content by the horns and making it his own. It's just absolutely incredible, whatever it's doing.
Absolutely. And I've admired Everett's story, and I admire that he's taking those chances. And I was so proud of him when he got his own Levi's.
Oh my God, the cheetah print ones. Yeah. How cool were those?
Those were amazing. That's why I think
so cool.
Everett has to be a male blogger and influencer you guys have to keep your eyes on, because he is literally trend setting, breaking down doors and changing trends.
Absolutely. I mean, I love that he starts the day off with his morning espresso from his Nespresso machine with some nice morning vibe music. He just sets a tone that says, hey, come into my living room, meet me. Here's who I am. Take it or leave it. And it's so inspirational the way that he carries himself. I can't say enough good things about Everett.
Absolutely. I definitely think Everett, if you're watching this, please, you are more than welcome to come on this podcast. You have been hugely influential to a lot of male bloggers, and I think you would be a perfect guest.
I would agree.
Alrighty. So besides, or do you have anyone else you want to talk about? Anybody else that you want to add to this list?
I mean, I could shout out my friends for days. Definitely my friend Brett from Silver Fox Collective. Listen, I get questions a lot from, I don't want to say the older crowd, but a certain man above the age of 40. And I think Brett's pushing 50, and he can out push up me. He can out sit up me. He can out workout me. The guy is a fitness anomaly. He is so knowledgeable about anything fitness, fashion, nutrition, anything. I mean, he's a great friend of mine. He's a wealth of knowledge. And his Instagram, he's somebody who started out doing flat lays, the transition into lifestyle content. And he actually does an Instagram live every Sunday with new influential people. I'm actually going to be on it this Sunday, which is very exciting, over at Silver Fox Collective on Instagram. But I definitely have to shout him out, for that guy who's dressing up in the office and really looking to make a change, start fresh, maybe even after quarantine. Brett's the guy to look at. He's got tons of tips. He's such an inspiration as far as style is concerned. Who else do I want to shout out? My goodness. My friend Parker York Smith, Parker, who lives in Hollywood over here. He's been a huge inspiration to me as far as getting on the content grind and really making something meaningful. I'm still trying to catch up to what he's doing. He's absolutely incredible, vibrant colors, wonderful editing, and throws his personality into everything he does, which is so admirable. So those are probably two of my favorites right now.
I agree. And for everybody watching, please comment below on the comment box, or you can tweet me at Jacob Elyachar and also Instagram me at Jacob Elyachar for people that would believe that we need to look. And also same with Anthony as well.
Absolutely.
All righty. So I also want to talk to you about, because you landed one of your dream jobs at one of my favorite media companies, which is Penske Media Corporation. I've always dreamed about working with Variety and also TV Line and Rolling Stone. So you are working with Spy.com. So can you talk about the satellite with my readers?
Yeah, definitely. So Spy.com is a brand new men's lifestyle topics conversation publication from Penske Media. Like you said, they do Variety, but this is all about the men's world. And I'm writing for them right now. We've partnered together, and it's just a wonderful way to express my inner thoughts and my style tips to their readers. And it's a lot of fun too, because I run the Next Gentleman, not to the scale that they're running. So it's kind of an honor to be able to work with them. And if you haven't checked any of it out, just head to spy.com. They cover everything from grooming to style, technology, and all sorts of hacks for your daily life. And they make the best product recommendations you can find. Makes it super easy for you to find the stuff you're looking for. So spy.com, definitely check it out.
Awesome. I definitely need to check that out as well. So also I want to talk to you about like if you have any quick style stuff, because for some styling recommendations for like once we got out, have you been thinking about once Los Angeles, which Governor Newsom says, and I'm sure I'm waiting for Governor Cuomo to say it's time. So what are some of your recommendations for my viewers on how to prepare yourself to re-enter this post-COVID-19 world?
Honestly, at this point, I'm just going to say rip all your clothes off and go run around outside, because that's the kind of mood I'm in right now. I've been giving it thought, but at the same time, I've been trying to prepare my followers and my readers for what do you wear when your sweatpants get crusty? I know that's a little gross, but, I'm not going to be ashamed to admit it. I've worn the same pants for maybe like a week straight now. We're all in the same boat. Let's not pretend that we're not. So I think one of the greatest things let's talk about right now is going from those sweatpants to a pair of joggers. I think joggers are an amazing flex player. They make them in all sorts of materials. They make them in cotton, different types of cotton like terry cloth or jersey or that classic sweatpant material. But at the same time, they make them in like polyesters, and they make them in regular fine cotton. And I think that they are more comfortable than jeans. You can sleep in them and not feel weird about it. But at the same time, you can throw them on with a pair of sneakers and go to the grocery store if you need to and look like you didn't just roll out of the gym or bed, something like that. As far as after we're allowed to leave the house, who knows when? That's what I'm going to say. Let's say if it's late spring, it's going to be a little bit warm. Get out there. Don't wear pants. I mean, wear something, but wear maybe like a nice pair of shorts. I'm partnering right now with a really cool brand called Roan, and they have this awesome pair of commuter shorts that look super soft and super cozy. I can't wait to give them a shot. So I'm going to be wearing that 7-inch pair of stone gray Roan shorts. And then just like your favorite graphic tee, get the graphic tees going on. I think they're super cool. They can be layered with a button-up shirt. Henleys are still going to be awesome, especially for guys with beards. I personally stay away from the crew neck look just because, well, do I have neck? As far as you're concerned, no, I don't. Oh, where is it? There it is. There it is. But yeah, the Henley allows you to kind of, if you have a beard, it allows you to add a little bit of depth and remind people that, you're not just skull and hair on top of shoulders. So that's a good way to kind of break that up a little bit too. But I think once you get back outside, go for the shorts, be relaxed. We've just been through hell, some more than others. People are fighting out there. Just be comfortable. And that's where I'm at for spring and summer right now.
Alrighty, awesome. So second last question.
Go for it.
All right. Do you have any social media tips that you would like to share with this audience?
Absolutely. I think the coolest thing on social media right now is just people showing what they're up to. Listen, if you're like me, social media is the first thing you do when you wake up. It's the second and third thing you do when you wake up too. But knowing that, listen, we want to know what everyone's up to. We want to know that we're not alone. We want to know that we're in this together. I want to see what you're doing. Yeah, maybe I'm a little bit nosy, but I think it's really cool. If you're making a cool omelet, Jake, show me. I want to see that video. Do a time lapse. Your iPhones have the capability to do that. I'm sure Androids do as well. But show me a time lapse or quick recipe or something. Or if you're working on an arts and crafts thing, let's see it. Right now, I'm growing. I decided to grow garlic, green peppers, 2 different kinds of tomatoes, some basil. That's what I'm doing. I'm gardening now.
That sounds like either a very nice recipe for pizza sauce or for pasta.
That's why I did it. That's exactly why I did. I love making flatbread pizza, and that's one of the other things I've been doing is making my own dough. I don't know what the grocery stores have been like over there, but for like a week and a half, I could not find flour anywhere.
Wow.
Even today, I can't find yeast. Nobody has yeast. Is there some kind of
Really?
infection? I hope there isn't. But yeah, nobody's got yeast. So when I had it, I was making bread and pizza dough. Right now, I've just got flour.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm like, I have to commend you because making your own pizza dough takes a lot of time, and I commend you for that. It is for me. I actually have a stove. One of my favorite things I've been doing is stovetops. Is actually, if you guys need is actually create 15-minute oats, which basically you take some a little bit of oatmeal, you add cinnamon, brown sugar, and a little bit of peanut butter, mostly crunchy, and then you put in pour some almond milk in there. And then you wait for 15 minutes. Then you go over to slice an apple and julienne it, and then take in your blueberries, sprinkle in like a dozen blueberries, and then turn on the heat for like 5-7 minutes. And then around the 5-minute mark, you should take the oats out and then put it on top of it. Now that is a really good healthy dessert.
That's like a $16 menu item. That's incredible. I heard the word julienne. That immediately shoots it up $5. Wow. That sounds delicious. You're going to have to mail me one.
I will, but however, I need to make sure to find some kind of a storage area so to do that. But like if you're ever in New York next time, I'll showcase it to you.
Perfect. I'll let you know when they let me. Well, I could travel right now, but I shouldn't. We shouldn't travel right now. Don't travel.
I agree. So anyway, where can after watching our conversation or listening to it, where can my audience find you?
Definitely at my apartment.
I'm talking about on social media and online, not at your apartment. I don't want no stalkers, no stalkers, no stalkers.
I had to. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. You can find me online on Instagram at The Next Gentleman, Facebook at The Next Gentleman, and TikTok at The Next Gentleman. I guess I'll see you guys there.
Alrighty, guys. Now you can find me at Jacob Elyachar on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, because not just as I mentioned earlier, Anthony's just my second video interview. If you want to see my interview with Kim Mattina, the winner of Sequester, head over and watch it over there. And also, guys, keep an eye on Spreaker and Apple Podcasts, because you can download episodes of Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast on those outlets. And also, not to mention, if you want to see the original interview I did with Anthony, and also some of my incredible interviews that I did with Survivor, Winners at War, sportsman Adam Klein, several Big Brother fan favorites, and also America's Got Talent alums as well, head over to jakestick.com. Anthony, I am so grateful that I got you to come on the podcast, and this is also our first time meeting online as well. So thank you so much. I had a great time.
Jake, it's been a pleasure. This was so much fun. Thanks so much for having me here. It's great to meet you, man. Thank you really so much.
You're so welcome, and have a great day, guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.